Hello. Welcome to another Drop Frames. Did it? Okay, we're still live. It didn't explode yet. This is great. It's working
Nothing's
out.
exploding.
Nothing's
It's good stuff.
exploding. It's good stuff. For those that aren't aware, everything exploded last night, and I basically had to build everything over again. So if there are some issues today, we'll just use that as the excuse. But I think that everything should be better across the board. Co even fixed his mic, or maybe we'll address it if it happens.
Actually, you know what? Let's do this real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Zeke, let's do that thing that we did earlier.
Okay.
And chat. Okay, here's the deal. For everyone that knows, for pretty much the entire duration of this show, anytime someone else talks, if I try to talk, it mutes my mic. So if someone like talks over me, then I just get muted. It's super annoying. So we may have fixed it. All right, go Zeke. Hey guys, how you doing? This is Co. Hopefully I can actually be heard right now.
I think it's good. I think there's no audio ducking anymore.
How are we feeling? Is that good?
I think it's good. Yeah, I think
kind of worked. Okay. Oh man, that's big.
The true test will be. This is not a slant towards Bike Man, but the true test will be getting someone like Bike Man on the show who will just jump in because he's really excited and he's super passionate about everything that he's saying. Because the three of us, we've done this for 200 episodes now, and we'll just stop talking if Co wants to talk. Me and Zeke will. We've just trained ourselves if like Co starts talking.
I'm sorry. No. Today is episode 13251. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
200?
Yeah, right. Sorry. Sometimes I get lost. Yeah. Wait, did I go back in time to episode 200 when we fixed everything? Oh, shit. This is that whole alternate timeline thing that Endgame talked about.
Oh, shit, dude. We're in Berenstain land now, buddy.
Well,
watch me make half your viewers disappear with a single snap.
Jesus. Well, we'll see what happens here. So yeah, it seems to be working all right. It seems to be going okay. I'm curious to see if this lasts. That was not my fault. That was Co's camera.
As I fade out of existence.
Yeah. Co almost snapped himself out of his existence there. So, but I figured we start off this week since E3 is 3 weeks away. Is that accurate, Zeke? Is that
11th, June 11th?
Co, come back. Okay, good. Is that 3 weeks? Is that really real? No.
Is it really real?
It's 4.
As far as I know,
4 weeks. No, it's 3 weeks.
June 8th, right?
Yeah.
Wow, 3 weeks.
Oh, I guess it does. It starts June 8th now, doesn't it? Yeah.
3 weeks to the Cyberpunk release date.
Yes. Yep.
What?
I hope.
Maybe.
That's my hope, man. I mean, like CD Projekt Red, they gave us a 40-minute gameplay video last year. You know, they showed us pretty much every facet of the game in full gameplay. And then they said this year they're doing something big for E3 and Cyberpunk. And it's like, what is left? They're like, the only thing we really want at this point is a release date. So unless they're going to give like another gameplay demo or something, which would be good, but
I'm sure
it'd be kind of weird to like amp that up a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic, man.
We'll probably get like gameplay with the trailer or with the release date at the end, I would think.
Or maybe it'll be a playable demo this time instead of one that you just watch.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
That'd be big too.
We will all find out though. As E3's about, like I said, 3 weeks away. But I've been kind of talking about it in my chat with our bot command. E3 coverage will be slightly different this year. Zeke, however, will be. Can you talk about what you're doing at all, Zeke? Can we? You're good to go? Okay, Zeke's going to be covering it with Twitch again this year. I didn't know if that was announced or talked aboutable or something. But yeah,
you want to talk about I just got the confirmation. I'm not sure if how overly like detailed I can be about it. I'm pretty sure, but I can't say much. But like as far as am I going to E3 and am I going there with Twitch to do the hosting and the interviewing and the commenting and stuff? Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm very excited about that.
Cool. Well, we will miss you once again. One of these days, we'll have you here for the E3 coverage because you still haven't experienced it yet with us.
And that's the thing. Like, I hope so, but I hope not at the same time because, man, I love it. That's like it's my favorite hosting gig. Like that I when I used to get a whole bunch of them, right? And now like I get none because Twitch Studios.
Right. They don't do packs anymore, etc.
Yeah. But it used to be my favorite hosting gig because not only because it was E3, but because it was like the new games, I get to like see them first and talk about them first, and like talk to the actual people who make the games first. And it was fun, like last year, to crowdsource like people say like, I have this interview coming up and I know a little bit about it, but I want the super nerds to help me out. And like I did that with like Sekiro, and like the Sekiro interview, and
I do remember that. I remember watching that
oh
live.
God, what was it? What's the other one? The other samurai
Ghost
one.
of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. I crowdsourced like all kinds of great questions, and from people who are like were super into it, and it was so much fun to like feel like I was asking the right questions and stuff, and had a blast.
Well, I definitely restreamed some of the stuff that the Sekiro interview. I remember 100%. You also did a bunch of the Yakuza, the old Yakuza interviews, because they announced PC stuff last year. I remember that as well.
Yeah, there's gonna be some cool.
Do you already know some of the interviews?
Like Atlas stuff coming out, I think.
Do you already know some of the interviews, or is that stuff you get handed week of?
It's pretty close to the actual event because of scheduling. Like, scheduling is
sure.
tough because these people like have interviews all over the place, or like demos, or they've got to be in meetings like all over the place. So scheduling them is sometimes on the fly. And if you knew like during these things, like how close everything is almost always is to falling apart. Like,
yeah,
where's those guys? Where's the guys from Sega? Where's the guys from Software?
That's
no
production,
one's here.
man.
What the fuck are we gonna do?
That's
and then
the
someone
lifeblood.
shows up like, you're in this interview right now, and they're like, we just got here.
Yeah, that's the great stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah. Well, Zeke's going to be covering it with Twitch. In the past, we have restreamed all the conferences with myself, Co, and a bunch of other just cohorts, whoever it is. We've had a bunch of different people over the past 3 years, I guess, that we've been doing this. But this year's going to be slightly different, and I'll let Co kind of talk about what will be different and kind of who we already have lined up for the show as well after that. So, Co, take it away.
Cool.
Also, I'm going to make you guys a little bit bigger, so just ignore that. You're going to grow for just a little while on the overlays.
Sounds good. So we have done E3 together for a few years now, and it's always, and I think I speak for all of us, extremely enjoyable to get together as a group, talk about what we've seen and really kind of go over, well, all of our opinions and thoughts on it. However, one thing that's been happening all the years is that occasionally when we have a lot of people on the show watching the E3 presentations, things can get a little bit busy. What that means is sometimes after the show, we'll talk about how, some people don't get their thoughts out. Other people may be talking when others are trying to listen to the show and they can't hear it. Sometimes people talk over things that viewers want to hear. It just gets to be a little much. So what we're going to be doing this year is I think potentially the other hosts, I'm not sure what JP's going to do. We're going to all watch the show individually. So the show, for instance, for my community will be me, the show, and you guys. JP will probably be JP, the show, and you guys. And that way, not only will that allow us to really focus on the show, but if we have any thoughts, we can wait for good ways to interject them that doesn't interfere with what's going on in the actual show. Now, here's the thing. The beautiful part about this is directly after the show, we all get together and talk about it. So we're still going to have the E3 Drop Frames experience where we talk about what we do and everything, but the show itself we'll all be able to pay attention to and kind of like focus on that a little bit more. So we will very much be continuing to do that and do all that kind of stuff. So I see that chat absolutely loves this idea.
Well, there is some
great.
clarification. There will still be the full-on stream of Drop Frames covering it with like a group. But that's we're going to do that, and then Co's going to jump in for the post show. It's kind of what
okay. So I'm going to be the only one being separate.
Yes, yeah. That's how we're going to handle it.
Okay, so JP and crew, and then I will jump in with the crew afterward.
Yeah, that's how we'll handle that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, Chad, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
All you're losing is me, and I'm really. You guys all hate me anyway. Why do you even care? Shut your mouths. You don't even care. Worst Co.
You're better Co. You're better Co. You defeated Jericho last week in Mortal Kombat. Both in game and the stuff afterwards. So yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'll be like the second the show is done, I'm gonna be turning my stream off, immediately hosting JP and sending everyone over there, and we'll do the big.
Right. We'll do the post show stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I like the under the weather sick though, who like is no nonsense guy. It's like I don't have time and I don't have like enough capacity right now for compassion. So you're gonna get
I don't have
like
any time.
mouth,
You're gonna chat babies right now. This is how we're doing it, and you're gonna like it. Because guess what? It's free entertainment.
Boom.
Deal with it.
Boom. So yeah, lined up so far. As of right now, it is Rami's going to be joining us. I'm blanking. Let me do the command. I forgot who we've actually announced and who is 100%. It is Lester Coe. Jericho's going to be there. Rami's going to be joining us, and Admiral Brew is going to be stepping in for some of the conferences as well. We're not sure who's going to be on what conferences just yet. There's also some other content creators that I'm waiting to hear back for that stuff. But the other thing about E3 is that it's different this year because there's just less to cover, which we can kind of jump in and talk about now. EA doesn't have a conference anymore. They are doing a stream for 2 days. There's no proper EA conference anymore. So
just wait, continuous coverage for 2 days?
They're doing the Nintendo Treehouse thing. Yeah, where they just stream for, 8 hours a day or whatever. And they'll have reveals, I think, within that stream, but it's not a proper press conference. What I've been
Wait,
reading.
are they doing this over E3?
They're doing this. Let me pull up. Let me just put this article up here.
That'd be a real dick move.
We'll talk about it. Let's see. First scene transition. Please don't die. Here we go. Okay.
Just before E3. Okay.
Yeah. So it kicks off June 7th. Won't have traditional press conference.
Cool. Good.
We're skipping the press conference this year and replacing it with multiple live streams that will air during the first 2 days of the event. EA said, bringing more of what you want, more gameplay and insights for the teams making the games. It will run June 8th to Sunday, June 9th. So yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Which means I don't know, because they're out there talking that they're going to be showing the new Star Wars gameplay of the Fallen Order, I think is the name of that game. But there's no actual direct time for that. But apart from
they
that,
better give us a schedule, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch hours of sports shit.
Exactly. No, that's what I've. Yeah, 100%. Which is fine because we're not the audience for the sports shit, but we kind of care about the Star Wars stuff. So I don't know. I'm hoping we get a full-on schedule of everything that they're planning to put out there on their channel, and that potentially we can restream that stuff or talk about the trailers after the fact, or who knows? I don't know. It also might end up at another press conference because obviously Microsoft is still there. And so that would probably be the one where it could potentially end up. But we'll just have to play that by ear. There's still a lot of information coming out. Is E3 still about 3 weeks away? This is kind of the week where everything should be out there fully. In terms of the actual times of the conferences, Microsoft's is Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bethesda is again late on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The Devolver Digital one is right after that, although it's kind of it's the Devolver Digital panel. It's not necessarily a proper press conference, but it's still worth tuning into.
Not really news.
Yeah, that's going on at 10 p.m. Eastern right after Bethesda. And then Monday, the Ubisoft conference, I believe, is at 4 p.m. Eastern. There's a scheduling mishap in this IGN article, which was really good for me to see because it means that even IGN, a company with thousands and thousands of employees, can mess up time zones. So they are human as well. It's good to see. Square Enix is going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, and then the Nintendo Direct is 12 p.m. Eastern the next day, and that's it. There's no Sony conference, so it's a little bit smaller of an E3.
And for those asking, CDPR is most likely going to be at Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah. It's also going to be a hardware thing, a hardware show for Microsoft. I think they're going to show the new console and start talking about that stuff and potentially what they're doing against Google Stadia's streaming technology. So we will see. And then, of course, the other news that hit this week is a lot of people are wanting to know.
What about real quick, the PC Gaming Show?
Yeah, that's the other news that hit this week. PC Gaming Show is back. This was, I think, announced yesterday. Day 9 will be hosting it. However, the big news with that is not that it's back. It's that the show is now sponsored by Epic Game Studio. So we might see a lot of exclusive stuff here. I'm really curious how that's gonna go.
I just want to hear Day 9 come out on stage to money, 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 money.
He should wear a money suit. One of those ones that's just bills all over it, like the entire jacket and everything, just $100 bills. Oh my God, he'd become a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going
I just
down.
want them to use the adjective exclusive for everything. It's like our exclusive host, Day 9.
Jesus Christ. That's going down on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern.
Day 9 comes out and he's like, I was going to host Microsoft, but the Epic deals, they got me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God. I really hope they make fun of it, man. If they try to do like a serious, if they don't allude to any of the Epic drama in that show, it will be awkward. If they embrace it and they make fun of it and they have a good time with it, it could be a big saving grace for them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they do this.
The PC Gaming article states, each year since its inception, the PC Gaming Show has created injunction with sponsors. Past presenting partners have included Intel, AMD, and Microsoft. This year, the PC Gaming Show is presenting sponsors the Epic Game Store. Oh, so it's not Epic as a game studio. It's the Epic Game Store. Epic will reveal brand new material for several games, including some exclusives coming to the Epic Game Store. To be clear, this doesn't mean that all the games presented at the PC Gaming Show are partnered with Epic. Expect more than 20 different developers to show new trailers or make announcements, such as Annapurna Interactive, Chucklefish, Digital Extremes, Digital Uppercut, Fat Shark, Fellow Traveler, Modus Games, Raw Fury, and Relogic. Digital Extremes is Warframe, right? Is that the Warframe?
Did you just say Relogic?
Yes, Re-Logic.
That's Terraria, right?
Maybe?
Because they just actually released a thing today saying, quote, we will not sell our souls to the Epic Store.
Yes, that is the
That'd be a little
Terraria
awkward.
developers.
Yeah. It is?
Mhm.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Is that on Twitter? Where did they say that?
It was a PC Gamer tweet.
It just reminded me of that song, dude.
I can find a link.
I sold my soul to the Epic Store. Make 15 games. What do you get? Another day old.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm looking on their Twitter to see. I don't see
I'm trying
anything.
to find it. I when I was going through Twitter earlier, I thought it was PC Gamer. Maybe it was PC Gamer N or something. I'll find it while we're talking here.
Okay. So yeah, I only expect that list to grow. And of course the Frankie Ward will also be back with Day 9, the woman that was there last year. So should be cool.
Dude, Frankie is so awesome. I just want to give a shout out to her because
last year.
I worked with her one time, and
there it is.
during the Gamescom,
Mm.
and she was amazing. And then I saw her on the PC Gaming Show. I was like, this is what she needs to be doing, and I'm glad she's really successful. Love you, Frankie. Shout out.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of hosting this past year. So it'll be cool to have her back. Again, the PC Gaming Show is happening on 1 p.m. Eastern on June 10th, which I believe is the Monday of E3 week. Ko, you found the tweet, or someone gave it to you?
I saw the article, but what people are linking is the actual tweet the article is about. Since there seems to be confusion, no Relogic title will ever be an Epic Store exclusive. There is no amount of money we could be offered to sell our souls.
Jeez.
Heavy language there, man. Wow.
That's such a... Yeah. I was about to say something that would probably get into it. I don't know if we want to get into that again because we've talked about the Epic Game Store stuff before. But yeah, that's an
That horse
interesting
died
tweet.
like 3 weeks ago.
Well, some people are still beating it, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Like a drum, man.
Like a fucking war drum, for sure. Yeah, that's an interesting tweet. I'm very curious to see who else shows up there and if we get any ad-lib conversation on the stage about the Epic Game Store. Because that's probably a good stage to do something like that on and to win a lot of points for indie devs if they want to stick their neck out there, for sure. But we'll see what happens. So that's what's going on with E3 as more people get added to the guest list for our coverage. I will let you guys know. We'll start tweeting that stuff out. We'll also get a full schedule out there on who's going to be on what panels as there is. We're going to be covering definitely Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square, Nintendo, and the PC Gaming Show. Don't know if we'll do Devolver Digital. We haven't in the past. That might just be a solo restream stuff that everyone enjoys because, like Co said, it's
There's
more
not really
of
any news.
yeah,
It's
it's more
yeah,
like
it's entertainment.
entertainment type deal. I mean, they've shown new games in there in the past, though, right? It's just in between acted, scripted conferencing stuff, right? I think I've never actually watched it. I've only seen the clips. Maybe Zeke might jump in here. I think he's watched some of the Devolver Digital conferences.
What was your question?
They actually announced
That thing
games
they
there,
do.
right? Okay.
Yeah, chat is thing they do.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
well, sort of. I
Sort
mean,
of.
if they have something to announce, they will. But it's not a lot of things that they announce. They do like pepper them in a little bit, but that's not the main point of it. Is just to get like Devolver like in everybody's mouth to talk about it and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they have I don't think they've had like super huge reveals or like new shit, have they?
I
At
don't know.
least I don't remember it. I don't remember. I remember like there's a new update to this game, and then there's like one game coming out or something like that. It's not like a whole gaggle of stuff that they bring.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they have this year. Maybe they'll mix it up. You never know. You never know. We'll continue along with news since we're kind of in that already. The biggest news last week, at least according to what's been the highest upvoted stuff. I'm curious to see what y'all's thoughts on this are. This trailer hit for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is a thing. And before I get myself in trouble and say what I think about Final Fantasy VII, what do you guys think about this? Is this, Co? You're super stoked for this, I think. I don't know if Zeke's gonna have the same
super
reference.
stoked for this, man.
Yeah.
Like I think it looks great. I love the graphics. I loved the feel of it. I mean, the gameplay looked a little more actiony. I'm okay with that. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm not expecting them to reinvent the wheel. I'm just wanting a current take on a game that I loved growing up. And from everything I've seen here, this looks like it's going to be a fun way to retell that story. I'm sold, dude. I want to play it. I think it looks great.
Zeke, your thoughts on this?
This is the first time I'm actually seeing, because I didn't go out and seek it, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing it without just seeing like a little tiny snippet of it.
Sure.
And it looks fucking dope as shit. And I absolutely am going to play it.
Okay.
100%. Am I like overly hyped about it?
Oh,
not particularly, but it does look fucking cool, and it is probably my favorite Final Fantasy that I remember playing. But I didn't play anything from like 8 to 9.
Oh, so you've only played half of them.
8 to 13.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
You played half of them then. Anyways, what was that, Co?
So just so I'm perfectly clear here, because I thought they dropped this, but chat seems to say they haven't, and then there's a little bit of confusion there. Is this going to be episodic, or is it in parts?
It's episodic.
Or
they were out there saying the day after that the game is episodic. Yeah.
Okay. So do we know how they're doing that?
I don't know if they went into
any details.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did not see that stuff. Chat might be able to link some stuff up there talking about it.
There's a lot of easy ways to really mess up episodic games.
Right.
So I definitely would like to know a lot more about that. Like, it would be super unfortunate, for instance, if they released like 5 episodes, each one for the low price of $14.99 over the course of 4 years. You know, like there are some really easy ways to mess that up.
Yeah.
I'm also very curious. Have they like? I'm wondering what their reasoning for doing it episodic is. Like, is it because of production delays, or are they trying why?
Yeah, I'm not making excuses for the company.
Big company.
I would think remaking all of Final Fantasy VII in a brand new engine, 3D fully realized, is kind of a big undertaking. But
oh, okay. So see, this is where the confusion is. So someone just said in chat, it's not episodes, it's parts, like Final Fantasy VII and then Final Fantasy VII 2. But the only times they've done that are like X and X2, and those were different games. So how, like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. That sounds like some fringe article that someone got rumors on. Yeah, I'm not
I think we'll have to wait until we hear from the horse's mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would think they split it up into episodes, like where the leaving of Midgard is first episode. Like you get out of Midgard and that's where it ends. And then after that, you go to.
That's not very long, is it?
It's like 9 or 10 hours of the original game, if I remember correctly. You're in Midgard for a very long time.
Are you?
I'm pretty
It's been
sure.
a long time since I played.
That's the other thing. It's been a fucking super long time since I played it. I mean, however long that was when it came out, what, 20 plus years ago, something like that.
I could have sworn Midgard was just like the beginning, like just to get some lore, and you bust through the city a little bit, and then you do like a couple boss fights, and then it's kind of like you're out.
No, because remember,
I'm probably totally wrong.
You go to Shinra Tower and like climb the stairs, and that whole goof where it's just endless stairs and.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think Red 13 shows up in there as well in that tower.
He's in a lab or something.
Yeah, I think he's in a lab.
Oh my god!
And then there's the bike fight where you're on the road trying to escape Midgard.
Oh,
and
okay,
okay.
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah.
Also, yes, we're
dude,
spoiling a 20-year-old game. Sorry, you should have played it.
22 years old, yeah. 22. Came
Oh,
out
also-
January 31st, 1997.
Eris dies. Just put that out there. Also, we had that spoiled. Me and my brother had that spoiled for me the first time we played the game because I think
itmeJP.
whatever game magazine it was spoiled it for me. Go ahead.
You want the real spoiler?
Let's hear it.
She doesn't die in the remake.
I've heard that. She also doesn't die in the game if you use the Game Shark.
What?
You could play as her later on in the game if you have the Game Shark G codes for sure.
No, it's pretty cool. In the remake, they actually do like a Star Wars thing where she turns into like a blue haze, and she comes back later, and Cloud and her have spirit sex. It's awesome.
Nice. I'm into it.
Is there a Spoony Bard in this one?
No.
Damn it.
There is the dance that Cloud does in Midgard with the loosed clothes men. If you remember that scene at all, that's kind of the big scene that a lot of people are looking forward to. The cross dressing. Yeah, that's specifically what it is. Cloud like cross dresses to get access into a building, or I forget the fucking plot is why he did it, but
Was there a minor hubbub about Barrett's like either voice line or script or something?
a little
A few
bit.
of the
I saw
voice
that.
actors are a little animated.
Yeah.
Like they're Some people. There's been some commentary on the voice acting.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Barrett's voice. I didn't like Sephiroth's voice. It sounded way too like, I guess Kitty is like, when I think of Sephiroth, I think of like one of the best villains in gaming in terms of badassery and just like raw evil. And then he spoke and I was like, what? How'd you get out of school? What do you fucking do?
That's how I felt about the Borderlands 3 villains.
Yeah. The Japanese voice actor for Sephiroth, though, if you go watch the Japanese trailer, it sounded good. So I guess just play with Japanese dialogue on. But we'll see. They're going to show more of that stuff at E3 during Square's conference. The other big thing is the gameplay shown. It's UE4 engine, but the first thing that came to mind when I saw it, having just played Final Fantasy, is Final Fantasy 15, it looks unbelievably similar to Final Fantasy 15 combat. Which is not a bad thing. It's just a thing.
I need to watch it again, but I'm wondering how much movement is going to factor into it. Like somebody said it was action based, but then I remember reading a tweet saying, "But you don't move." So it's kind of like, I don't think that's accurate because, well, no, like somebody said that you input commands and then the characters like run to where you do the commands, but you don't actually move them yourself. So like you just switch targets and input commands and then they like do all that. But see that's the thing. I don't know. Like it. Yeah, I don't know. Should be weird. It does look very 15-y though. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I had fun with 15's combat.
Yeah, it's not.
Although it is kind of weird to depart, to make a remake of the game and then completely change the combat system is a little. I'm surprised they didn't hybridize it more.
Yeah, I would have loved. Turn-based is great. I would love a turn-based game with the way that it looks. I'd be super into that stuff for sure. And a lot of people are saying it looks like Kingdom Hearts 3 for sure. I mean, I think you could say that Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15 are kind of similar in a lot of ways. Granted, they're different engines in terms of the actual games, but the combat was somewhat similar between the two. But they're gonna have more at E3. They'll show it all there. I'm sure we'll get more information in terms of episodic stuff, gameplay, how they're gonna break it up, all that nonsense. So we'll talk about it then. Zeke, you have a look of confusion on your face. What is confusing you, sir?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's just his default look
That's
of
just
confusion.
okay. Gotcha.
No, it was something on my PC that was I was like, why is it doing that?
Oh, the ghost.
Oh.
The ghost left me. He's visiting you now. The ghost of technical difficulties is coming over to
Don't
you.
you fucking don't
Okay.
say
All
its
right, well,
name.
I'm just. Okay. I didn't say his name. I just said his title. No one speaks his name.
Exactly.
Lest ye summon him.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it works. That's how it
Yes,
works.
indeed.
What else is out there? I haven't read this at all. It's just a random title I feel like reading. In an interview with Newsweek, the Claptrap voice actor David Eddings claims Randy Pitchford bullied and, quote, rage fired him.
Oh God, we're doing this.
I mean, that I'm okay just reading that and moving on. We talked about it at length. I guess that story's still going on. That whole
Dude,
thing. I've not been caught up on it.
He is a poisonous individual, and every single thing that comes out about him just makes the whole situation worse. Oh man, there's rumors now that they're going to be moving forward with the litigation right before Borderlands 3 releases of the 12 million that he stole.
Jesus.
So it's like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Good Lord.
And I'm sorry, the 12 million he allegedly took from Gearbox employees for his own money, which is unproven and is still in the courts.
Yeah, it's all allegedly. It's all allegedly. There's not been proven or tried, etc. But it's fucking crazy. What else is out there? Where did this come from? So the headline Last of Us 2 is in its final stages of development, says the game's co-creator. Co-director. Which makes me think that that's going to be like a holiday 2019 release. Like we're going to get that December. Which, when did the first one come out? It came out around the same time, right? It was I think it was a holiday release. Great. I hope that actually is true. I hope the words that I'm saying.
Last of Us was released June 14th,
Oh, I was
2013.
completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Literally about as far off as it could have been.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite. One was hopefully winter, and that one was dead summer.
That worked out pretty well.
It worked out great. I could see them pushing that though till 2020 summer around the same time as well. We'll just have to see what all that looks like. Is there anything else? It's been a little bit slow as we're gearing up for E3 stuff. Remember that Elder Scrolls Adventure code that kind of broke the plagiarism crap? That got finally taken down sometime last week, so it's gone. That was yikes. That was
What was the deal with that?
So basically, Bethesda made a tabletop version of some of their Elder Scrolls lore stuff, and what happens is they sold it, they released it, people received it, and apparently, like large portions of it were directly ripped from like D&D modules from 2015. Like you could take paragraphs and put them together, and you could tell that like the Elder Scrolls paragraphs were written in some cases almost word for word like the other ones were. Like you would have modules and the requirements for the party would be almost identical for both of them, and they'd be doing the same thing, and it was real bad.
Bethesda, like Melania trumped it like with the speech, like wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think it was sold. Some people are saying that it may have not actually been sold yet. I thought it was sold, but maybe not. I don't know the details on that. But yeah, all I know is it was a huge issue, and Bethesda was not very pleased, and I think that writer has been removed and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for sure.
Yeah.
What else?
Really bad.
Red Dead Redemption 2 for PC appeared on a physics programmer's LinkedIn page. I wonder if that gets shown at the PC Gaming Conference this year. Is that a right place to announce that, or is Rockstar just too big and too much fuck you money that they'll just announce that on their own?
I don't see why they
It's
wouldn't.
interesting they waited this long.
What if
The
it's
hype has definitely died down significantly.
What if it's an Epic Store exclusive?
Oh God.
I mean, that'd be a huge get for Epic, right? Like that's everything else would be chump change so far compared to Red Dead 2 on PC.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did both of you finish?
Oh, does Rockstar have their own launcher?
Do they?
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
have
they
it.
have Rockstar Social. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they might just have too much fuck you money to do it. They might just do it on their own. They might not even be around E3. I think I saw a headline that GTA 5 crossed like 110 million units sold this past week, which is something like 4.4 billion. If each of those copies sold for an average of $40 or some shit, just astronomical fucking money, just insane. So,
Oh, a couple other small things. Skull and Bones got delayed again.
someone said that in the chat. Yeah, that was this morning, right?
Yeah, I tell you, man. Like, I feel like they're starting to miss the bus. It's really unfortunate. Like, I hope that it's really good when it gets here.
And
at this point,
the newsworthy portion of that was that it was delayed indefinitely, right? They didn't put a date to it. It was indefinitely, I think, is what was said in chat. I don't know if you have that story up in front of you.
Skull and Bones. We're going to batten down the hatches and push back on the game's arrival. This is a challenge. This is challenging news for us all, but it's what is needed to make Skull and Bones as awesome as it can be. Our focus remains on quality first, and we're grateful for your undying support. And that was posted the 15th of May on their Twitter.
Okay.
Like an hour ago.
Well.
And then they have a 30-second message there that I haven't seen yet, if anyone wants more details.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's a game that exists. I think my hype was a little bit died down because the ship combat, at least when I think of Assassin's Creed ship combat, I think of the most recent Assassin's Creed that I played, which was Odyssey, which is not what that game was, but it's what's in my mind. I do not want to play a full-on ship game with ship combat from Odyssey. But yeah, I hope that game eventually comes out. There's definitely an audience for that stuff, right? Like, Sea of Thieves.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it when it gets here. I am that audience. I can't wait for Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
We're excited. Another little bit of news, and this is from Reddit. For those like me who are following the game Void Bastards, which is the brainchild of BioShock's design director, that has now a release date of May 29th. So we're going to see that game in 2 weeks. And for those who don't know what Void Bastards is basically like this cell-shaded first-person roguelike thing. It looks really kind of crazy and fun. So could be cool.
Here's some Void Bastards. I don't think I've seen this before. Was this...
What did you say? That's BioShock?
He was the design director for BioShock.
Oh, okay.
Was this kickstarted or anything like that?
Is it what?
Kickstarted or anything like that?
I don't think so. I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, apparently it's got some really cool stuff in it. It's supposed to be kind of funny. It has a lot of, like you can see, there's lots of roguelike elements in it.
Wow.
It's got like FTL stuff that you can kind of move through the areas and you clear out things. And there's lots of RNG and random things that can happen. And it looks like it's going to be pretty badass, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
It's like a playable comic book is what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also a lot of physics-based stuff, apparently. Like the game is all about giving the player tools, and then you can use those tools in lots of creative ways to like combine them. And like, if you just saw, they threw a grenade and like locked a bunch of enemies in a room and, stuff like that. So it could be fun. It'd be really fun.
Dude, I'm into it already, man. I love it. It looks, I mean, just the visuals alone look fucking stellar.
Yeah. This is, I think this is the Xbox. This is on the Xbox YouTube. So I don't know if this is PC gameplay or running on an Xbox, but it looks fine.
It'll probably look similar with the graphic style. So
yeah. It looks pretty cool. Huh. Great. What was the release date on that again?
May 29th. It's a Humble Bundle exclusive, by the way. Apparently, they're actually helping deliver it. And for those wondering, the name is Void Bastards. Yeah,
Awesome.
2 words.
Cool. What else is out there? I don't think this is necessarily for you guys, but the WoW Classic stuff. That whole news blitz hit yesterday morning with all the WoW streamers announcing that, alongside Blizzard with WoW Classic coming out in August. Chat, what's the proper date on that? The closed beta starts sometime today. That's going to be a fairly small amount of people, content creators, and just general people, I think, being invited into that. But the full game comes out August 27th. A lot of people are a little bit upset that that's coming so late into the quote summer season, as I think they were hoping to play that in June and July when they don't have to go to school, etc. But we'll see. I think that there's still hype. I mean, obviously on Twitch, there's still a shit ton of hype. A bunch of huge streamers are very, very interested in playing that. So I think that will be there. I'm just curious, what is a win for WoW Classic in terms of like actual people playing it. Like what Blizzard views as success for that project.
Also, it's going to be really interesting. And a streamer, King Gathalion, has been posting some of these little anecdotes over the last few days. And every time I read them, I'm like, how are they going to address this? So when WoW Classic releases, it's going to have tons of exploits, broken items, ways that you can completely troll other players that they don't intend you, that are patched out later. Like, are they just going to like literally leave this stuff in and let people exploit and abuse these things until the normal patch that fixes them come along? And I mean, is it going to be the kind of thing where players are like screaming for them to fix this stuff like they were back in Classic before they got fixed? So it's this really interesting situation where it's kind of like they have to walk a line between allowing people to do that because it is the vanilla experience, or patching it out because enough people don't like it.
Right. Or keeping it in because a lot of people do want it in, right? Like I would think some people want the real deal, the real experience.
Yeah, like people in chat right now are saying some are saying they already patched it, but at the same time they've already announced that they're going to keep it as close to vanilla as possible. So, and I mean, there's not like one or two of these things. There's all sorts of these things, from spamming items in battlegrounds. Like Gathalion said one about how you can like put a cap on somebody, take them into the water, turn into a fish, and they'll just drown. Like all sorts of weird little things.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. And the more familiar you are with vanilla WoW, the more kind of a leg up you're going to have with that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Oh, it's patch 1.12. It's not 1.1. Okay.
Right, but I mean,
I think there's still a lot left in 1.12.
There's always been exploits in that game of some degree. Yeah. So and now that I think what Gathalion's basically saying is like that stuff was known then, so now it's known now, and you're basically revisiting something that is already out there. It's not stuff that has to be found out. It's already existed, right? So we'll see what happens. I'm so curious to see how that actually goes from start to finish, and what that whole thing looks like, how it's received, what happens to Blizzard just in general this year, but also with a magnifying glass on Classic and how that whole thing goes. I'm just so curious to see how it's received. There's so many people out there saying like, people think they want WoW Classic, but they actually just want the nostalgia of WoW Classic. They don't want to actually.
They want their first MMO again.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Magical feeling, man.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna like. It seems to me like if this were me, and because I didn't get into it until like towards the end of Burning Crusade and into Wrath of the Lich King, and then it took my life for like 2 years. Like that was the only thing I played. But even if they like did that, like my most nostalgic thing, would I come back and be like, oh yeah, and then after like I don't know 12 hours of playing, I'd be just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I remember why I walked away.
Right.
Or you think it'll just be like, let's do everything all over again because of the nostalgia? Like, is the nostalgia carpet gonna be able to fly you through the entire thing? You think?
Dude, it's super interesting you say that. Like a lot of people were pinging in chat when I said that thing about the nostalgia. I'm actually playing EverQuest 1 right now. In fact, I had raids last night. We killed the god Inaruk in my guild. It was awesome. And I'm thoroughly loving the experience. But here's the thing. Like, when you go back and play EverQuest now, it's got all the UI enhancements they've made over the years. There's no longer corpse drops. There's a cash shop and stuff now. You can buy in-game currency. Like, it's a completely different experience. So it's basically like, it's looking at that nostalgic experience through a modern day lens. And that's one of the reasons I'm enjoying it. There's been an option for me to play for the last 20 years called Project 1999. I haven't touched that. I've never had the urge to touch that because I don't have time anymore to spend 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours doing a corpse run to get all my gear back or I lose it forever. Like it's a lot of that old stuff you kind of move on from. And it's going to be interesting to see like how, just like Zeke said, like how many people are going to want the true experience or how many people are going to want to experience the nostalgia in a way that's easy for them to do at this point in their life. And will Blizzard even give them the ability to do that? We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. There's going to be so many people playing it. So opinions are going to be everywhere when this thing happens.
Yeah, it for sure. 100%. Yep. Yeah, I so curious. And I think the closed beta will answer some of those questions, but I think the cap is level 30 in the closed beta. so you can't really get, it's half the experience, so to speak, with 60 being the full release of WoW Vanilla and WoW Classic. But yeah, we will see. We'll see what happens. It's definitely, I'm so curious to see if the people out there that are saying now it's like, oh, it's all nostalgia, no one's going to play it, are dead wrong, or if they're onto something there and no one will play it after, 2 weeks or 3 weeks when they realize, oh, fuck, that's right. I had to do XYZ to get this to work.
What's really going to be interesting to see is when it releases and we start seeing the camp set up. Yes, I love this.
Right.
No, it's good. Yes, it's good, but. And then you see everyone start choosing their team and like start defending and attacking and
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I mean
it's gonna be yes.
It's gotta split that community. Without there's nothing they can do to prevent it from being split. There's gonna be very few people that are like, yeah, I play both and I'm super into both. Because a lot of people that are upset with the current WoW play on these private servers with WoW Classic type rules because they don't like the current World of Warcraft, right? So those camps probably already exist and they're about to get more vocal as time progresses forward. We will see. So curious how that's going to be. Some other weird news. I don't know how to properly pronounce this name. Julian Garrity, Ubisoft creative director, was out there on Twitter with the tweet, working on the next hashtag Splinter Cell with Dan Haynow and Ron Kamor and Leon. Can't wait for E3.
Troll.
Crossover with the Crew 2 with Fergus, only missing Ghost Recon. And it was the complete troll. Was he out there saying that it was a troll?
No, those were all the devs. They were hanging out at the thing. It was a complete troll.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
about the car thing and all that stuff. Is that the tweet you're talking about with all the pictures of the devs together?
Yeah.
They were just messing around.
Gotcha. I did not see the end of that story. But what if there was a new Splinter Cell at E3 and it wasn't a joke? What if they were gauging interest with this? Can you?
Then I've never played a Splinter Cell, and I've been looking for an excuse to do a franchise run for like 3 years.
Oh my god, some of the early Splinter Cells are kind of rough, but the multiplayer stuff in Splinter Cell is fucking sick. Have you heard anything about that before? Where you have like
only a little
spies
bit.
versus
I've
mercs?
heard it's extremely unique. Like
Yes.
There's no other game that really compares to it.
Oh yeah, one side the mercs play first person, the other side the spies play third person and have like spy tools and don't really have like a proper. They're not walking around with an M4 or sneaking. They're proper spies, and it is a very very unique multiplayer, which I think in today's world of BRs and all of that would shine and would do very well.
That's cool. That almost sounds good enough to be a standalone.
Right.
I mean, in the days of like, Dead by Daylight and games like that, I mean, you develop what you just said into a standalone game, I'd probably play that.
Yeah. You're
developers.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'd be super
throwing that out there.
Like I had so much fun playing through the first, I think the first 2 Splinter Cells. And I don't like, because you said the first two games were kind of rough. Maybe it's just I'm looking through it with rose-colored glasses because like I remember like going through those games and just being like feeling like such a badass. Like I felt more badass than I ever did playing Snake.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm trying to think exactly what I would class. What would you classify as this first Splinter Cell game, Zeke? Because I think like the one that came out on 360, and that definitely wasn't the first. Was that a 360 generation game, or was there stuff on like the PS2 era, PS2 and Xbox One era, or the first Xbox? Because you can't say that now because
wasn't it just called Splinter Cell?
It was the original Xbox. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played on the original Xbox. Yeah. I had the big fat ass controller.
The Dukes, the best controllers of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love that thing.
I
could really huck it. I could really like do some damage.
It had some weight to it, man. That thing weighed a couple pounds. You could really break something with it for sure.
Oh yeah. First time we ever hooked up like our Xboxes and did like Halo tournaments between like us, like 4 to 6 dudes, just like Mountain Dew and Cheetos. Like I remember like throwing it at people and then be like, "Don't fucking throw those ones. They're huge and they hurt."
It was good. I never broke one, but I definitely threw them. Go ahead, Co.
Little more bit of news here. For those that would like to start saving, about a 40-day heads up.
Okay.
Steam sales on my birthday this year. They announced the date of June 25th. So for those that want to start saving up, get ready.
I
For
think
your birthday present? Oh, for the sale. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, for the no. I'm trust me, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. I'm good.
Like, those of you guys want to start saving up for my birthday, June 25th. Remember the date. Don't forget.
I'm curious when it comes to the Steam sales stuff. I think that the three of us kind of have similar feelings about it. But for chat, is that still something that people are super excited for every year? Like, am I just completely off base there because I'm not super
Maybe
excited for
between
it?
60 and 90% on games that you aren't able to at any other point.
Everyone in chat's saying no. No,
No,
not
you guys aren't
everyone.
excited for that?
But I think it's just been done so much. I mean, there's
Damn.
a couple of yeses in there.
I'm surprised. Okay.
I feel like the Steam sale now is for people that join the PC gaming world every single year and they're like, let's get into this PC gaming. And then the Steam sale hits and like, all right, let's get everything. And then the next year hits and like, I've got everything. And they just move on.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
And well, that's the thing. Like, they've done it so much, and so many games are so like deeply discounted and have been. It's you go see a Steam sale and you're like, I have all of these games already.
Yeah.
it's
Like,
it's
I
really
have
interesting you guys say that. That's what chat is
thousands-
basically saying.
Yeah.
Yep. What you guys are saying right now. Absolutely right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have. Hold on, real quick.
You have more games, I think, than both me and Co.
Almost 1,200 games. I have 1198 right now.
Yeah, we've done the game
1198
comparison stuff. And I remember you always won.
And I'm just saying, like, I probably played like maybe 300, 400 of them.
That's a lot of indie games. That's a lot of stuff.
There's a website you can actually check if you're ever curious. See,
How many
it'll
games
tell
you
you
played?
like what games you've played as opposed to what you actually have.
Oh, I don't.
Mine's
I've
bad. But mostly I can blame one of my mods that just gives me like 5 to 10 hentai games every week.
Which is
So,
all Steam is now on a daily
Yeah.
basis. There's just a new hentai game every single
Thanks,
day.
Sayori. Love you, bud.
You know, if you aren't gonna use those, if you wanted, like, I'll pass them along for you. If
You'll
you
find a
want.
home for them, right? You'll find a
Yeah.
good home for them. They'll be
I mean,
useful and appreciated.
I mean, you don't have any like furry games in there, would you? Like games with like
Brother,
big
I have a furry
animal-like
library in
animals?
my sleep. Just saying, like you. Oh my god, you pick a flavor, I will give you the sub flavors. If you say when I'm, anyway.
I like the
Oof.
term sub flavors.
Yeah.
It just makes
Don't
it
yuck someone else's yum. There
Well,
you
it's
go.
kind of like
Oh.
it's kind of like mouthfeel. You know, like I like the mouthfeel. It has good sub flavor.
Oh man.
Jesus. In other news, what else is out there? I don't know how much we can. I don't know what else there is to say apart from it existing. But have either of you watched the God of War documentary that Sony put out? I
Yeah.
recommend checking that out if you've beaten that game. It is worth checking out for sure. It's 2 hours. It's pretty lengthy. It goes from kind of the entire development process. They talk a little bit about the. I think it internally was Internal 7, which was that game that was basically like canceled. The sci-fi-ish game that they were out there talking about, and we got all those leaked documents a long time ago from Sony Santa Monica. So it starts around there and kind of talks about the entire development process. The coolest part of the entire, or one of the coolest parts of the entire thing, is they go into the E3 announcement where they started with the music, and then they revealed that it was like the kid was talking to Kratos, and like the crowd went wild. It made me go back and watch the drop frames coverage of that stuff as was happening in real time. And that it made me very sad that Sony's not going to be at E3 this year because no one really does the big game release or game announcements like that with the full on opera and all that shit. It was good. Definitely watch the documentary if you have not. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. They even talk a little bit about crunch without saying the word crunch in the documentary and how it affects the developers on like a family level and what they actually put into the game and all that stuff. It's worth watching for sure, without a doubt. What else is there? There's one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, kind of smaller news, but along the same line as what was it? Void Runners? Is that what you? Yeah, Void Runners.
Void Bastards.
Void Bastards. Have you guys seen the John Wick game? So this is a John Wick game that was shown, or rather announced. And you start looking at it and you're like, this is some weird art style. What? How is
Is it
this?
mobile?
No. You're about to see the actual gameplay in just a second, and I'm going to pause it because as you start to see what the actual gameplay is, it makes perfect fucking sense if you've seen John Wick. So yes, Mike Bithell, Thomas Was Alone, all those games. Zeke probably is recognizing that name. So that's the gameplay right there. I think how this works, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, is John Wick is on basically rails, but you're making decisions in terms of how you want to assess the different combat, so to speak, with this type of resource and all that stuff. And the more that I thought about it, is that sounds fucking amazing and how a John Wick game should be played, because I could never think of the shit John Wick does in the movies in terms of action. And this seems like a super sick way to do it in terms of animations and how it actually comes out. But they didn't show very much. Like, you get that, and then you get a little bit of gameplay, and that's it. And
I still don't understand why it needs to look like a high school college or like a high school project. Like
that's cell shading.
It's not cell shading. The animations are janky. The models look kind of weird. Like they don't like. Did you see him walking earlier?
Maybe we can go back to it. I don't know if high school
like the
level
first
animation
third,
is
walking by the dock. Like it looks very strange. Like right there. Like look at that, man. Like, what?
High school might be a little bit
college. Let's go with college.
I mean,
No?
yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
I'm just saying. No. Okay, let me preface this a little bit better. This is John Wick.
Sure.
This is a gigantic franchise.
Sure.
This is one of the few games featuring John Wick. You'd think they'd want to make it like best foot forward kind of stuff. That's all. You know, it looks like it'll be fun and maybe it'll be enjoyable, and that's fine. But it's kind of weird that it's like such a large, iconic franchise. And I don't know. Maybe it's going to play a lot better. Maybe that's alpha footage. I don't know.
Zeke, what'd you do?
I'm fading. Hurry! Get your parents to kiss at the under the sea dance. No.
I think that's just your internet.
No, I think the chroma key went all fucky.
No, that's the internet. You're dropping. You're down to 50 bit rate.
Okay.
I don't know if that's on my end or if that's on your end though. I guess we'll keep an eye on it. Your audio sounds fine though, so we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And me and Co aren't lagging, so it's not the same issues as last night. Anyways, way too technical bullshit. We're getting out of the show. Back to Co's statements about the high school art project.
College, come on, let's be nice.
The college art project. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it looks. Sure, I agree with you that John Wick is a big franchise and potentially could look a little bit better. But I'm still curious to see the actual game, because if it is kind of like,
I will say this: the gameplay looked cool.
Yeah,
like that looks like something that could be very enjoyable, especially if it's the kind of thing where if you could make the decisions quick enough to like make the action seem somewhat fluid. So like you come up to a situation, you're like, okay, click, and he does something cool, and then while that's animating, it gives you the next choice, and then you can click that, and then he immediately goes into that. So you're like basically crafting your own little John Wick experience. That could be awesome.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing where graphics might not even matter if they do it well enough. So yeah.
That's true. We will see. Did they have a launch date there? I don't think there was one. It's called John Wick Hex. I don't see a launch date at all. So I guess we'll just wait and see.
Here's something quick to talk about. Just something I'm kind of curious about y'all's opinions on.
Sure.
So a game that's making a really big push is Dauntless. You guys remember that game? It's the free-to-play Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, the budget.
How are you guys? I'm not only curious how you guys are feeling about it. I want to know how chat is feeling about Dauntless, because I'm hearing a lot of people saying like, yeah, it's great for a free-to-play, and others saying it's nothing like Monster Hunter and it's terrible. So I'm wondering, like, are there people out there that are really playing and enjoying Dauntless? Like, is this going to be something big because it's a free-to-play thing? Has it gotten really good? Because I haven't played it in like, God, a half year plus.
It has not been on my radar at all, and it seems like that's kind of the same thing. I feel like it was an unfortunate circumstance that Dauntless came out, and then Monster Hunter, I think, had like a beta or something the next week or maybe 2 weeks after, and ever since then it was just forgotten about. I never ever thought like, oh, I should go check out Dauntless again after that. But I don't know. I can't speak to its popularity or its Steam numbers or anything like that.
I'm gonna
Just
refresh
saw the new system is awesome. I'd say I've probably got over 400 hours played. Damn, dude.
Whoa.
Okay, that's kind of big.
Huh.
But okay, that's I saw, just like you said, I saw mostly people say like they weren't interested or meh or no, but there's a few people in there. I'm wondering if that'll change over time as the game kind of gets updated and better and improved. I mean, it's always going to be free from what we understand, so price is right.
Yeah. That also
Dev in chat.
that's also a great transition to the new Monster Hunter expansion that was announced last week, Iceborne, coming out. Chat, tell me the launch date on that. PC date is not announced just yet. When does Iceborne actually launch, though? Because there was a release date. September. Okay, that's coming out in September. September 6th. Have either of you, or I guess Zeke didn't really spend too much time with it. Co, you put a lot of hours into it. Are you interested in jumping back into the Monster Hunter worlds?
I'm thinking about it. The thing with me is like I made a lot of progress on the PS4 version, and the PC version came out, and I kind of ran out of steam earlier than I was anticipating. So I don't really know. I kind of still want to go back and do like the Geralt stuff and everything and see how that goes. But
yeah,
because I do kind of like the idea of like, I like the idea of treating Monster Hunter like a Witcher contract. Like that seems kind of cool. I know it's weird, but it seems kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
I mean, you're the person they're targeting with that DLC, right? Like you're the
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. I mean, it definitely looks kind of cool. There's one thing that Monster Hunter does well, and that's just basically everything it does, like the world creation and the monsters and the fights. So it's the kind of thing where if you know it's new and you know you've never seen it, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be interesting. And honestly, the only thing that got me to stop playing the Monster Hunter PC version is when I got to the point where I'd pretty much done everything once, and I'd already explored every location. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm done. So something like this could actually bring me back into it. Now, have they announced, is this expansion going to be something that like a mid player can do, or is this for like after you've maxed out your characters in the base?
I don't know if they have, and maybe this chat needs to jump in. I think it's end game, so you have to be at end game. Okay, so it's
post game HR16.
HR16 is not that tough to hit. I mean, that's basically just finishing the main story, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
I wonder what I am. I'm going to check real quick.
You're probably. Did you finish? Do you remember the last guy you fought?
I did. Yeah, I think I got to the point where I was farming. So
if you fought the Elder Dragon,
fought the big black dragon, and I'd spawned the elders.
Yes, you should be HR 15, 16, something like that. I would think.
Cool. I'm actually going to download it and check while we're doing this.
Yeah, the Witcher stuff requires HR 16, so if you can play that,
it does too.
Yeah, you can see that stuff. Cool. There's a slew of new monsters they announced. You can see some of those on screen right now. I think I'm definitely back in. It's that same situation, though, that happened when this first came out on consoles. It's like, yeah, I'm going to play the console version. I'll probably put a lot of hours into it. But the PC version is just so much better. And they're like effectively forcing you to double dip if you want to play it when it's new and you want to play it when it's the actual best version to play. And so
I'll tell you right now,
yeah,
I wouldn't play this on PS4 again.
Yeah.
It's the expansion's not coming out on PC at the same time?
It's not dual release. It's PC at a later time.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I agree.
Yeah. I made the mistake the first time. Not going to do that again.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people. I don't know.
The Geralt event is ending tomorrow?
Uh-oh. You better do that.
Wait, Twisted Skull, are you sure?
I thought that was in the game forever.
What's the event?
You play as Geralt and you go do a hunt.
It's going to come back, though. Okay, so it's a rotating event. It's rotating out. Okay, great.
There you go. Yeah. The hard version.
You get something you get forever?
What was that, Zeke?
Got me all flustered there. My lord.
You get something you get to keep forever from that event?
I think you can get Geralt armor or weapons or something that you can use after the fact. Yeah. I've not played it, so Chad is saying you get a bunch of things. Geralt skin and a Ciri skin and stuff like that. So cool. I think that's it. There was also that we're not Ghost Recon fans, but there was some Ghost Recon news that hit last week about their new game. Cole, your eyes lit up. Are you super into it?
I've heard a lot of positive stuff about this.
Okay, what have you
I
heard?
have not actually. this all happened during my stream, and I've been sick. I'm still sick. So I haven't really had a chance to like look into this, but I've heard people that played Wildlands and didn't like it tell me that they were straight up excited for this new one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Apparently it's a lot more tactical. It's people that didn't like Wildlands are said to maybe you need to be taking a look at this second one, and I mean it looks kind of cool, dude. Or it sounds kind of cool. I still need to check it out and everything, but
yeah, I mean,
have you seen it?
I watched the thing in full, and it does that thing where I think Ghost Recon and potentially Ubisoft has done a lot of, where the stuff that they show is not indicative of how the second to second gameplay will be when I play it. Because when me and Zeke played Wildlands 1, granted different game, but still similar, we were falling through the world. We were like slamming into telephone poles out of helicopters and dying immediately and shattering our skulls. Like it was not necessarily, we were not the most tactical bunch of people playing the game, because the game didn't necessarily require you to be tactical or force you to be tactical. And so I had a hard time watching this gameplay and not think like, God, this is overly scripted. Like this is not what it's going to be when I actually get my hands and a mouse and keyboard into this game. Maybe I'm wrong. Haven't played the game. I'm only speaking from what I know from the first one and what was in this trailer. But they're like getting around this compound, and like they're all getting into perfect positions and like marking targets. And then they count down. It's like, all right, 3, 2, 1. And they all like take the shots on the perfect guys and they all fall. It never goes that way because Bob is with the sniper. He's like, you guys ready? All right, I'm going. And the other guys are 2 miles across the map fucking fighting a boar or some shit that they've aggroed. Like, it doesn't ever go that way. So I have a hard time seeing this and thinking like, oh, they've really changed it up. But who knows? Haven't played the game, so I can't speak to that. I hope that maybe it is like super tactical and this is very indicative of what we'll be seeing. But a lot of the compounds are exactly what I've seen in like Far Cry and how I played Far Cry, where you look at all the guys, you get the aerial view or you get the binoculars, you mark them all, and then you go through and start taking them out one by one. But stuff like this looks cool where you can just cut the fence, apparently anywhere. I'm into that if it's super sneaky and super tactical. I don't know, though.
So did they touch on the fact why this isn't Ghost Recon Wildlands 2?
Not in. So I watched this without the voiceovers. I don't know if they said that in the voiceover demo press event thing. That's something the chat might be able to answer.
I'm already out. It's already unbelievable when he did that whole like thing, and then he bent the thing like he didn't catch like any of his clothing on that shit and rip it wide open after your mom just bought it for you for your first day of school.
Oh, you think that was bad? Did you see about 30 seconds earlier when he reloaded his gun and he just threw his clip onto the ground? I don't deal with litterers.
Literal.
That's just bullshit.
He literally doesn't deal with litters. It's rough. It's tough stuff.
Well, you think someone's going to come up behind him and pick that up for him? Come on, man.
I can't believe you said the C word. Oh,
no, it's the clip, okay? I'm going to call it a clip because it doesn't deserve to be called a magazine because he's a terrible person. Okay, so we call it a clip. Because everyone who needs to be associated with that man needs to be pissed off when they think about him.
That's a good backpedal, man.
I do what I can.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I will say this. There was a cool twist. So before this was shown, before the, what is it? Breakpoint? Yeah, before the Breakpoint stuff was shown and announced at the conference, they put out some DLC where you play as the Punisher. Like he's in the game in the DLC and stuff. And it was apparently fine. They did a bunch of sponsored streams where they were showing that stuff off. And then they cut to this and it's revealed that he's like the bad guy in the new game. And I thought that was kind of a cool way to introduce that type of stuff that I hadn't really seen before so far in games. Can't speak to if it's actually a good character or anything because I didn't play the DLC or see too much footage of it, but the Punisher is in the game. So that's cool. And it's just more of this stuff. Like,
that is a pretty fucking cool sneaky takedown. I gotta admit, like he scissors the legs out from under him and then slits his throat on the ground. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, someone in chat just says, "Is this Wildlands or no?" This is Breakpoint, which is the new wildlands, so to speak. Yeah, so those
What
are like
the
little
shit?
those little exploding drones that he's sending out, right? Like that
Why
stuff's
do you even
cool.
need people? Just drop cans of those things on the enemy.
So that's the bad guy. He controls. He has an iPad. I'm not fucking
That's
with
awesome.
you. He has an iPad and he just controls drones, which is pretty cool. But the other thing too, and I someone just sparked my memory. I couldn't shake the idea as I was watching this that it looks very much like the Division 2 in the second-to-second gunplay. It looks so much like Division 2 to me. Granted, they're not dropping items that have, loot levels and stuff tied to it, but
Think so? This looks far less shooting gallery to me. Like the big thing about Division 2 is there's from what I like, it's all about like picking a position and then getting as many guys killed before you have to move or being forced to move. And like this one seems much more about like sneaking around and being the aggressor instead of like constantly just covering from fire and encounters. But I don't know. Maybe I didn't play a lot of Divisions, so it may not be.
I agree with that. Yes,
Well,
I think that the gameplay is different, but like the actual gunplay looks very similar to me. What were we saying, Zeke?
That fight between the female soldier and the bad guy looked like a real fight.
Animation
Like, it
wise,
didn't look like super like over the top, like I hit you and you fall down and I've got karate moves or whatever. It looked like a struggle. That's pretty cool. That's like, it might be a little detailed to some people, but watching that, it looked like, like muscle like struggling and trying to get the knife and that kind of stuff. It looked pretty goddamn visceral, and I liked that a lot. That was
Hey JP, can you rewind it like 30 seconds?
you want to see the
Remember the
plane
start of that
thing?
room with that gun thing in it?
Oh yeah.
I want to play that game.
So-
What game is that?
So those. Let me skip ahead. We'll just skip ahead here, and I'll show you the end.
That looks like something that belongs in the front of a mech.
They start to infiltrate this thing, right? And they realize, oh shit, like we found the person that's here, but no one else is here. And then you start to see more of that type of mech shit from the bad guy. That's like the stuff that he controls. They're all AI controlled cars and drones and all that stuff.
Oh my.
Which is the Punisher. It's this dude. It's really funny that he's just walking around with like an iPad in his hand. Like he has no guns. He's just got a fucking iPad.
The future is one with technology.
Yeah, so there are the drones that he uses. And you see he just straight up murders this chick.
Oh.
Yeah. To me, I saw that and I immediately thought, fuck, those things are so tiny. They're going to be a pain in the ass when you have to actually fight that stuff in game. Because they're going to be hard
fast.
to hit. Yeah. I immediately was like, fucking shit. But I don't know. It's tough to say, like, will the game actually play like this? Or will it be more Wildlandsy? I don't know.
So much stabbing.
A lot of stabbing. There's some more stabbing. Oh, no, that was just choking.
That was one of like the first things I noticed. Was the first takedown that I saw in this game. Like the dude like snuck up behind him and like stabbed him several times in the throat, and I was like, that's what I would do if I was in that situation. It's not like one like slit or one stab and then like shh. It'd be more like that. You're gotta make sure you're dead. Gotta make sure. Like
Zeke is a tier 1 operator.
I just get a picture of Zeke doing that and just crying while he does it.
I'm sorry, man. It's just dying.
for the greater good.
Jesus. We will see. I would. The other thing that this made me think about, I think I tweeted something along these lines. If they're showing this 3 weeks out from E3, what the fuck does Ubisoft have to show at actual E3? Like, do they just have a ton of stuff coming out this year? And so they had to announce the stuff early so that they couldn't fill, or they can't fill. They had too much stuff for their actual conference, so they put out this hour of gameplay before the fact. Like, I don't know. Watch Dogs 3.
Skull and Bones is Ubi, so we'll probably hear more about Skull and Bones.
Definitely see Watch Dogs. Definitely see Beyond Good and Evil
Watch
2.
Dogs 3 rumors are still going around.
Yeah.
I think there's some more For Honor stuff coming down the pipeline. They're still pushing that. I mean,
you got to see
give
the
credit where
Just
it's
Dance.
due. They're doing their best with that. They're doing what they can.
Just Dance will be there. They're going to put on a show.
Oh yeah, yep, for sure.
I heard there was a pretty good
The South
documentary.
Park stuff is there any more South Park stuff coming out? I didn't hear about any more South Park games.
I don't know. I've not heard anything about that.
I haven't heard anything about a South Park thing. Beyond Good and Evil 2, is that Ubi?
Yes. Yeah, that's Ubi.
Yeah. So that may be big. they actually have like some actual news about it now.
Yeah,
because
they've
it keeps
actually
being very murky.
they figured out what the
Like,
fuck they're gonna do with that game.
Yeah, people don't even know what that game's gonna be yet. Like,
Right.
be a card game at this point. Like, nobody knows.
Yeah. I did not see the news report, but it's been mentioned a lot in chat that they have 3 unannounced AAA titles for this fiscal year. So I don't know what that means, but they have a lot in their repertoire that they could actually push out there, and we could see for sure. I just don't know how big those games are. I think they've actually already said that there's no Assassin's Creed this year, that they're waiting till next year to put out the next one of those. So I guess they could tease it or soft announce it. They've already said that it's going to probably be Norse or Nordic inspired for this next one. So,
Oh, somebody just sent me a whisper. The South Park owners have stated they're not interested in further games at this time. Info about that was around the first couple weeks of Fractured But Whole. Good to know.
there you go.
I didn't catch that.
Did not know that either.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope we see some more Breakpoint gameplay, and they have like the actual in-game menus and what that stuff looks like, rather than just kind of a raw gameplay type deal, so we can see how that's really going to play second to second. Because I'm
I
with
didn't
you.
even
Like,
think about this.
animations are
How
good.
much more excited I would be if it was Ghost Recon Point Break. Like, I would be
Ooh.
far more excited if it was Ghost Recon Point Break. Oh my god!
They have Swayze
Keanu and
just walk
Swayze.
out. Yeah. Wait,
And
is
Keanu.
Patrick
oh
Keanu.
god,
Patrick
Keanu.
Swayze's is he? Well, one thing, is he in Point Break? Is he not? Also, I think he's
Swayze?
dead. I think
He is.
Swayze's dead.
So
he
that would
can't do
be that would be a secondary issue.
Yeah, that would be the secondary issue. That's what I was gonna say.
well, you just have like someone who could copy his voice. Like you could do like
Sure.
you can animate him obviously, but like you just have to have someone like. I mean, I'd volunteer.
You could pull off a
100%.
Swayze. Wait,
You're adrenaline.
was Swayze really not in Point Break?
No. Chat's saying that he was.
Yeah,
I
he
think-
was the bad guy. Keanu Reeves was the good guy.
Swayze, and yeah, he was
Yeah.
Reagan when they
I
did
knew I
the
wasn't
Rock.
crazy. Ko was looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, Ko, I ain't crazy. I know he's
Well,
in that movie.
I was talking more about the dead part.
In that fact, I am crazy because he is indeed dead. He could not show up to an Ubisoft conference.
Gary Busey.
Holograms
oh
exist. Tupac did it, right? Let's do Swayze again. Let's get Swayze up there in hologram style. It's fucking Ubisoft. Have some fun. They're gonna dance and sing. It's gonna be great.
Walking a fine line, JP.
Am I? Why's that a fine line?
Don't you bring up Tupac's name in vain. That hologram was sacrilegious.
Oh, was it? I didn't realize it was received poorly. Okay. All right. Anyways,
Roadhouse.
Let's move on. Maybe we'll just take a break. We did an hour of news somehow and bullshitting about E3. We got Rage.
About
We got Rage 2 to talk about. Zeke's finished
I wanna
Days
reset
Gone.
my
So.
call or something, like because I don't
know what's
understand.
going on. Run a speed test. Oh, you did. Okay,
I did,
I'll read
yeah.
that information. I'm not sure what's going on with that. The nice thing is that it's not actually crashing anything, and everything seems to be running smoothly on mine. So, yeah, maybe I'll feed you a new. We'll talk about it during the break. Because we're gonna take one right now. We'll come back. Rage 2, whatever other games you guys have been playing. I'll talk about the AC
Talk
Odyssey.
about the end of. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ko's not finished Days Gone yet, so.
Oh, you're not?
I finished the main story, but I still have some secret stuff to do.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we can talk about the main story stuff.
yeah, we'll do main story.
Sure.
Maybe a spoiler
Yeah.
time for main story as well. We'll hold up our hands for everyone when we spoil it or something. Anyways, we'll take a break now. We'll be right back with more drop frames right after this. We'll see you guys then.